today we tell about Kyrgyz traditional Koshok. When we lose someone we love, the pain can be too big for these simple words. Every culture has its own way to say goodbye. The Kyrgyz people have a very ancient, beautiful and heartbreaking tradition for this. It is called Koshok. In simple terms, Koshok is a ritual funeral song, but it is not a normal that people write down in a book or practice before. It is a 100% live improvisation. It is a mix of crying, singing and poetry. This tradition belongs only to women. A woman who sings the poem of grief is called a Koshokchu. The word Koshok comes from the Kyrgyz word koshu, which means to add or to connect. This has a deep meaning. When a woman sings, they connect beautiful words into rhymes right at the moment. She also connects her own heart with the soul of the person who died, and she connected all the people in the room in one big shared sadness. To understand how Koshok works, we must look at the traditional Kyrgyz funeral. In the past, and often today, the funeral takes place in the yurt. The body of the person is placed inside. The women of the family sit inside the yurt near the body. They wear dark clothes and traditional headscarves. They turn their faces to the wooden wall of the yurt, which is called kerege, cover their faces with their hands, and begin to cry. For example, if a wife loses her husband, she's singing about how strong and brave he was. She describes how he protected the family, how he built their home, and how he sad and cold the house feels now without him. If a daughter loses her father, she sings about his wise words, his kindness, and how he was ill. For example, if a wife loses her husband, she sings about how strong and brave he was. She describes how he protected the family, how he built their house, and how sad and cold the house feels now without him. If a daughter loses her father, she sings about his wise words, his kindness, and how he was like a big protective mountain for her. If a mother loses her child, the Koshok is the most painful. She compares her child to a beautiful young bird they flew about too early, or a flower that did not have time to bloom. In this way, Koshok is a gift of memory. It reminds every person who comes to the funeral about the good deeds, the love, and the character of the person who passed away. Why did these traditions appear? For nomadic people, life in the mountains was beautiful but very hard. There were not doctors or psychologists. People had to find a way to survive great tragedies. Koshok is a brilliant form of ancient psychology or therapy. When a person faces a terrible shock, like the death of a close relative, their mind can freeze. A person can close their emotions inside, and this is very dangerous for health. Koshok forces the grief to come out. When a woman starts to put her pain into words and rhythms, she opens her heart. She literally cries out all the trauma. By speaking about the pain, she helps herself and her family to accept the loss and to start healing. In the old days, every Kyrgyz girl learned how to sing Koshok. They listened to their grandmothers and mothers at funerals. A woman who could sing a beautiful, deep and moving Koshok was highly respected. People considered her to be very wise, mature and close to the traditions of ancestors. Today, the world is changing. Many Kyrgyz people live in modern cities and big apartments, not in yurt. But the tradition of Koshok is still alive. Even today, at Kyrgyz funerals, you can hear this beautiful and sad melody. It is a living monument to love, history, and the powerful, resilient spirit of Kyrgyz women.